Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, The Right Stuff. This is Wheelchair Gamer, aka Mario Wright and Thelma Wright. And we are going to do a question and answer segment today for you guys for a lot of questions that we get asked on a general basis. So if you have any questions or comments that you would like to make, or any inquiries that you would like to know about our lives or about things that we get to do or things that we can't do, go ahead and comment below. So we're going to take the time to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Don't forget to comment at the end of the video. And so here we go. I'm going to ask my buddy right here.
Wow.
My hubby. My one and only. The first question. How did you become disabled?
I become disabled. Well, long story short, I guess the muscles in my legs are weak. One day I was up and walking. I started having issues with blood clots. Having pain in both of my legs. And then one day I went into the ER. I passed out. Woke up 30 days later, and I couldn't walk no more. Well, I actually couldn't walk, talk, or anything. But slowly, obviously, some things came back, all but the strength in my legs. So that's how I became in a wheelchair. About 10 years now.
No, we're going on 11.
Well, yeah, now
11.
Now going on 11, yeah. 12. Because it happened in 2009.
And we're in 2001. Well, because he passed out in the ER on his birthday in 2009.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. 11 years. 12 years. 11, 12 years, yeah. Your turn.
I guess that question is, how do you feel being married to a man in a wheelchair?
Well, because Mario and I grew up knowing each other, like we grew up in the same town. His best friend was the brother to my best friend. So our best friends were brother and sister. So I knew of him. He didn't know of me. We're gonna leave that alone. So to me, like him being in a wheelchair is just like being married to the Mario if he was standing up and walking. So, I mean, being married, I think, is the hard part. I don't think it's the wheelchair that makes it the hard part. I think it's the joining of two people into constant connection that makes it, like you have to like learn to adapt to each other. Like, I don't think that to me, the wheelchair doesn't make a difference. I think I would have married you whether you were standing or sitting. Sitting does make it easier to kiss you, though, because he is 5'11", guys. And I'm 5'2". So I can kiss him easier since he's in a chair. Have you had emotional shifts? Since you have been in a wheelchair? Like we were talking about the other day, like depression or anxiety or just like hard times while you've been in a chair.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it wasn't the fact that I was in a chair. It was the fact that before I got in the chair, it was more that I knew what I wanted to do or what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. But once I got in the chair, I really did. For a little while there, I was, I guess you say, kind of lost. Like, what do I do now? I'm in a wheelchair. But then a part of me was like, well, this just happened to me overnight. Why wouldn't I be walking again just overnight?
Yeah.
They would come back. So part of me was just like, oh, well, this is only temporarily. I start walking again someday, but now it's just like I've been in a chair so long, now it's like if I get up and walk again, it'd be more of a shock to me than me just being in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, But I never really been depressed, I guess you could say, or nothing like that. Because I don't know. I guess I just always stay positive.
So you didn't go through that extreme low that so many people think, like when you have this huge dramatic event, like this huge life changing dramatic event, like going from being up and walking to being disabled and being in a wheelchair, where people always think like you get so super depressed that you don't want to, like you go
Oh
extreme
yeah,
low.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
a normal person. I mean, most people probably would, but just for me, it was just like like I just always thought that I'll walk again. Like it may
it
not
was
be
never a
today.
question that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen or whatever. I never. I mean, I got down and sad for certain things, but it wasn't because I was in a wheelchair. It had nothing to do with me being in a wheelchair per se, how I got there or anything like that. It was just the fact that I was really like, I'm in a wheelchair, so what am I going to do now? Like, where do I go from here? Type of deal.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth notating that before you got in the wheelchair, you were extremely active. So there was like
Yeah.
basketball,
That's the part that got me because I was like, dude, like I played sport, basketball, I worked, I was always moving, I was always doing some type of sport, and now it's like, do they have sports for wheelchairs? Like, what do I do now? Type of thing. So
yeah,
yeah, that's the biggest. That's probably about the hardest part about the whole ordeal.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you went from one extreme to another extreme, from being able to like run every morning and get up and go and just whatever to
Yeah.
now whenever I get up in the morning, I gotta, like I can't just leave my house and go run. I have to leave my house and go push. And it works an entirely different muscle than running. So it's something you gotta build back up.
I mean, now since I got with straps, so now I'm back in old routine again. Like, okay, now I'm playing sports and I
Yeah.
feel just like I did before I got in the chair. So, do you have to do everything for Mario?
Oh my goodness, no. So we have, without really saying we have certain chores around the house, we have chores. So Mario is the one who really takes care of the kitchen. So he does the dishes, cleans the countertops. He is the main person who cooks. He's the main person who puts up groceries, keeps the refrigerator clean, gathers up the trash in the kitchen and things. So like that's like his domain. And I only go in there whenever he's like, babe, I don't feel like cooking tonight and I don't want to order out. So then I go in there and whip something up really quick. But most of the time it's him. But I really don't have to do anything for him other than like once he gets in the car, like I'll put his chair in. Or if he needs like a massage or something because his legs are hurting. But that's something you would do for your spouse anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I don't feel like I do anything extra for him. I remember whenever we first got together the first time in 2010, people would say I was really mean to him because I would make him do things. And I was like, well, I don't understand why I need to do it for him. He ain't broke. He's just in a wheelchair. And people would tell me, you need to stop being mean to him. You need to stop acting like that. But we had a conversation when we were first together. And you had said that was one thing that you respected about me because I didn't make you feel so helpless. And so, I mean, I just carried over. Like, he takes care of Maria. He gets her dressed. He doesn't give her baths. I give her bath, but that's more because I'm a female and he's a male. And I don't know, we just do that. But he'll get her dressed. He changes her diapers. He'll feed her. I actually stay asleep in the morning longer because I don't get to sleep very much at night with Maria. And then he keeps her until like 11, 12 o'clock. So, I mean, there's nothing Mario can't do. I mean, he can't go out and be a construction worker and, I mean, there are things he can't do that he used to be able to do, but there's nothing I need to do for him. Like, everything he's able to do for himself. Anytime he's been out, whenever he first got sick, he went to a nursing home. Whenever he got out of the nursing home, though, he lived by himself. He didn't have to have somebody live with him to have, like, constant care. So there's nothing he can't do. I mean, in my eyes, I feel like there's nothing. I mean, I don't even think you can't walk, but we're still working on that. Have you had an emotional shift since getting married?
What do you mean emotional shift?
Like, have you emotionally changed since you've gotten married? Like, are you happier now that you've gotten married? Do you feel like you've gotten everything? Like, is it easier? Like, is it what you expected now that you're married and life is going on?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Kind of easier. I mean, to me, it's been the same. I mean, I guess happier. Yeah. You know,
I'm not gonna lie, guys. It get really annoying. So it's cool.
I'm not alone all the time. I mean, that's one thing. You know, I ain't alone at the house all the time. There's always something going on. So I mean, yeah. But far as an emotional shift, I guess in a way you could say, yeah. I'm happier that that y'all here and I can do more stuff and I can do more stuff with me. But
do you ever get sad knowing like you are disabled and that like there are certain things Maria or Kayla or Belle or Rajon like that they would want to do that you couldn't do, like whenever Rajon was in football and it was like hard for you to get out there to the football field because it was all dirt and it'd be nasty and like do you ever?
No, I mean I say the only thing that I'll probably get sad about that I think about the most is Maria, is the fact that Rajon and Kayla and Belle, they have, I guess you could say they have a memory of me. Like they get, if I die tomorrow, they could come to you and be like, yeah, remember the time when Dad did this and Dad did that.
Yeah.
And Maria won't. Like if I die, like it's sad whether or not she'll remember me. Like she'll know me, she'll know who I am because y'all, through you and Mom and the brothers. I mean, her brother, her sisters. I mean, she'll know me, but
she won't have those memories.
Yeah, like she won't. Yeah, I mean, she could probably, like she'll see him on video through pictures, but it's more like, does she really know I love her? Like, I mean, it's like when you eat food, like someone can tell you that, an orange is sweet, but you won't know until you actually eat how sweet it really is.
Or how good it is, yeah.
And that's how I feel about her. Like, if I should die before she gets old enough where she will remember me, that she's like, oh yeah, I know Dad, but I wish I would have been there to meet him. I wish I could have remembered him enough, to remember that moment.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But
and I think it's also necessary to say that your only disability or the only sickness that you have is not just the fact that you're in a wheelchair. Like there are other physical disabilities between the two of us. There are a lot of health issues that we have. And so when it comes to the two of us, that is something that before we had Maria, we sat down and had long conversations about, like, do we really want to have another daughter or do we really want to have another child? And neither one of us are considered healthy. We're stable and we're okay where we're at, but we're not considered healthy. And so like we both have kidney issues. We both have, like I have a brain issue and he has diabetes. And so like we're not healthy. And those were things that we had talked about. Like, what do we do? Like, is it okay for us to bring Maria here into this world and we don't know what our tomorrow holds? So I think that that's like a huge step, like especially like for us to think about like what her future would hold for the two of us if one of us something happened to one of us.
Is it, do you want Mario to walk?
I get asked this question so much, babe. First, almost everybody from Straps has asked me this question. And then when like other friends that I have that know that I have a husband in a wheelchair will ask me, do you want your husband to walk? And the answer is yes and no.
Well,
so I want you to walk because that's what you want. And I think it would be amazing to have a husband that stands up and walks. And I wouldn't have to change the light bulbs and get on a ladder, and because he's 5'11", guys. But then at the same time, I don't do well with change at all. And I feel like our marriage has a very good, even like things that we do together are like they even each other out for us. So to me, whenever I wanted to get married, I didn't want somebody who I had to compete with. I wanted somebody who completed me. And that's what I felt like. That's how I feel like you are. And so, like, he doesn't drive yet. He is in the process of getting his license, but he doesn't drive yet. And so for me, with my PTSD, I don't like to be a passenger. It's very hard for me to not be the person driving. And so that works. And then I don't like to get out of the house. I don't like to get out and do things a lot of the time. But he does. And because I have to take him out, so he helps me get out of the house. But at the same time, like, there are things that he doesn't want to do that I do. Like, he doesn't want to have to do laundry. I'm cool with doing laundry. Why not? I don't like doing it every day. But, like, I do laundry. Or, like, I'm fine with, like, sweeping and mopping and cleaning the house and while he's playing the game. I like watching him play the game. He likes playing the game. Like, I feel like our marriage, the way that it is very, I guess the word would be easy. And if you got up and you were walking, I feel like things would change because you would want to get out of the house and do so much. And I'd just be like, well, you get out the house and go do that, buddy. I'm going to stay right here and pretend like you're still playing the game. So to me, like, I want you to get up and walk, but that change that would occur in you from you walking, I think would make me very nervous and kind of make me like step back a little bit and be like, do I really fit into your life anymore? So that would be like, for me, that would be like a huge hurdle that I would need to, I mean, I know I would overcome it. Mario would help me overcome it. I know this man ain't going nowhere. He's going to be my husband forever. But I don't know, for me, like that change would just be really hard for me.
Yeah.
Does your disability cause any issues with your marriage, your daily life, or your work life?
Do my disability cause any issues with my marriage, my daily life, and my work life?
Yes.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, in a way, I guess. I mean, in a way, you could say it does, because I like to be active. I can't be as active as I like to be, and there's certain type of work I like to do that I can't do. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I work from home for a while now. I work from home. Then I went to Morgan's, worked at Morgan's, like, so. Yeah, I mean, I try to help people all the time, whether they're in a chair or not. I mean, I get emails all the time about how I work from home, or messages, from on Facebook and stuff like that about my jobs working from home and how they could do it and this and that.
Yeah, and how not to get scammed, because there are like a lot of scams out there saying like, oh, work from home.
Oh yeah, but those are like totally different. Those you got to pay into to get it, and those are, some of them just, it's not as easy as they make it sound like. But the ones I work from home are more businesses, like 1-800-Flowers, places like that use customer service, and they hire people to work from home to do it, even before the COVID hit. So if y'all need a job to work at home, hit me up.
Right?
I
got you.
Oh, does it get overwhelming being married to a man in a wheelchair?
No, but it does get overwhelming being married. Like I said before, like for me, the wheelchair has absolutely nothing to do with the marriage. For me, the hard part is being married. knowing now you have to like share everything. You're supposed to communicate. You can't just like get up and leave the house and go one day just because you feel like it. Like you have to let your husband know where you're going. Let your husband know what you're doing. Like you can't. I mean, I like whenever I'm feeling an emotion or like when I'm angry inside, I can't just be angry at the world. Like I have to explain to him like, okay, I'm not really upset with you. Like, hey, can you give me a moment? Like I can't isolate myself anymore. Like to me, it's the marriage that can be overwhelming, not the part about the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think like marriage is one of those things like you have to wake up every single morning and be like, today I'm working on my marriage. Like,
Well,
for real though. I mean, there are people who like refuse to work on their marriage. There are people who wake up and they're just like, you know what? I'm just not gonna do it today.
no,
And
yeah.
you just can't have that mindset, especially not because I told him I'm not getting a divorce and I'm not getting remarried. So this is it. If you don't like me, then you picked the wrong person because we're not getting divorced. You stuck with me. Okay. Have your dreams changed?
My dreams? I mean, no, not really. I mean, no. I say no. I mean, I still want to walk, but I'm okay if I don't, I mean, I want to drive again. I mean, I already playing sports, so
What about your dreams that you had when you were standing that you wanted to be whenever you were 41, and now that you're 41, like now that
well,
you're in the chair, like
I didn't even have dreams that far ahead. I mean, when I was younger, I never thought like, hey, what I want to be when I'm 41 or 10 years from now, or I didn't even think about it. I was just like day for day. I mean, because I always thought that, hey, I'll be working construction forever, And I mean, the only thing that I really thought about was like, okay, I buy a house, like that, get married, most and all those things already done, done. So,
I know, but you complete that dream.
uh, so, so now it's like,
It's done.
yeah,
Like all your standing dreams, you already did. So now it's kind of like you're moving on to the next chapter, creating that
oh
new.
yeah, yeah. Now it's just like, hey, raising kids and playing sports, and like, I mean, I guess I have a dream trying to become a pro player in pickleball. I mean, that's about it.
That's why there's so many pickleball fit videos, guys. He's gonna be a pro player one day.
So, do you share household responsibilities?
Oh my goodness,
Oh
yes,
yeah.
yes, 100%. He does everything for the kitchen. Um, I clean up the living room. We both put up clothes. I wash and dry the clothes. We both share responsibilities with the kids. Um, we both share responsibilities of going and getting things for the house. Like he goes with me most of the time grocery shopping because he knows if I go grocery shopping by myself, there's going to be a whole bunch of sweet stuff in the cart than if he comes because I'm going to get a bunch of sweet stuff and then forget the bread. Um,
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, everything is, I wouldn't say it's split 50-50 because that's just not how we work. But the way that things are split works for our marriage. And I think that a lot of people don't realize whenever you go into a marriage, there's no such thing as 50-50. Like there are going to be things that he gives more than I give because I just don't have any more to give and he has more than I do. And so the total of those two comes up to 100%. And then there are things I have more of to give than what he does. But when you put those totals together, it's 100%.
No.
And that to me is how you're supposed to pick your spouse. That's how I've always looked at our relationship. Would you change things if you could?
I mean, same things.
Would you change your disability if you could?
Oh yeah, if I can walk, yeah. I mean, and then I feel like I could do way more than what I'm doing now. I mean, in some areas. So yeah, I mean,
Do you think if this hadn't have happened to you, you would still be right here right now.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It depends if I met you or not. I mean, I don't know if I would have met you because I wasn't big on Facebook or nothing like that until I got.
Yes, we have a Facebook meeting story. That's how we actually met well, that's
Yeah,
how we met back up in 2010 was Facebook. And so, yeah, we're one of those
yeah,
couples.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
So, with the drastic change that happened when you went from being so active to being in a chair, did that change your mindset in the at all? Like, did you calm down enough? Is that why, like, you felt like it led you down this path instead of continuing, like, led you down to where you started making plans for later on instead of the path of kind of living day to day, and as long as I eventually get married and I eventually buy a house, I'm good. Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess it did. It kind of. I guess you say it's kind of spread out the process because it's more of like, man, like I'm in a chair or something. Anything can happen. Kind of may have sped up the process a little more. Like, man, I got like I may have to do this sooner than I thought. Type of deal. Like,
yeah,
but that's just the fact that I was like, I don't know how much longer I may be here. Because when I woke up out of my coma, they told me because I lost so much weight and I was so weak that I had probably 6 months to live, if that is what they told me. I had 6 months plus, if that. When you get told something like that, it's like, oh wow, okay. I was working to prepare myself for marriage and buying a house. Like that was my mindset. Like, hey, like now I'm gonna have to start getting stuff ready for a family. Like saving money and maybe get a house and car and this and that. So when I do meet that girl that I want to get married, we'll be good. Like we'll have a house, we'll have a car.
yeah,
It would be said that we would be starting from scratch.
yeah,
Yeah, that is more that I didn't want to be starting from scratch.
yeah,
And this injury just like was like, oh man, like maybe I don't have another 6 months to get everything together. Like it may be okay to start from scratch. Or something like that.
yeah.
Do you worry about Mario when you are not around?
Okay, before I answer this, this is something you have to understand about me. I am constantly worried. I have PTSD super, super bad. So I worry about suicide bombers. I worry about boxes on the side of the road when I'm driving down the street. I worry about people coming up to my door trying to shoot and kill us. Like, I worry about all of that
I worry about that.
all the time. But when it comes to Mario and I'm not around, I do worry about him. I worry about him more because I know that he has other health issues. It's not because he's in a chair. It's because I know he has diabetes and I know he has kidney issues, and I know he's also the type of person he's going to wait until it gets to a point to where he can't stand it anymore. And then he's going to ask me for help. And so when I'm not there, I don't want it to have reached a point of so bad. But in my mind, like I always play out the worst case scenario all the time. Like, I promise you, every single time I leave the house, Mario has died inside of my head so many times, and I just don't know. And like, it's gonna be the same way whenever he gets his license and we get his truck. That the second he gets out of the house, you have died 900 times before you make it to the store and come back. And then I'm just like, nope, he flipped his truck. Nope, somebody hit him. Like it's just, they're constant berating thoughts inside of my head. And I try and try and try and try all of the therapy techniques that I've been given since 2007, and they're just always constantly there. That's why it's so hard for me to leave the house. That's why it's so hard for me to leave him behind. Like, there are times like my daughter is like, hey, mom, can we just have a daddy or a mommy daughter day? And I'm like, I want to be at the house. I don't want to go out today. Or like I do a penny shopping thing, and it's like super hard for me to go do it. I know it doesn't seem like it, but inside of my head, there are so many different scenarios that play out, and like I have no idea what I'm coming home to. And so it's not the fact that he's in a chair. I think it's more the fact that I have an issue, like I have a PTSD issue that constantly puts me in a horrible place. And so whether you were sick or not, whether you were in a chair or not, like I would constantly worry about you. Mine, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he's in a chair or that he's sick. He's my husband, and he's not fixing to leave me with no baby by myself, guys.
Wow.
It's not going to happen. 4 kids by myself? No. Nope. You're not going to do it.
Wow.
So yeah, I worry a lot. Are there anything different? Are there things that are different from what you thought they would be in your marriage? Like, did you have marriage pictured this one way, and do we fit into that slot? I can guarantee you, I was going to say it better be no, because there's no way you thought you was going to have a goofy wife like I do, because I'm crazy. I got issues.
I guess not. I mean, it was more, yes and no. Because I just thought, I knew it wasn't going to be like my mom and dad's was. I knew that much, I thought that, okay, it's not going to be like my mom and dad, where there was a lot of turmoil and fighting and this and that, it wasn't going to be like that,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I grew up, my mom and dad fought all the time. I had youth leaders that I hung out with, two of them really, that was really big in my life, I guess you could say, that I watched. They had their issues, but, they were just people that I knew, and I was like, oh, well, y'all different from my mom and dad, that's for sure.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I said that this seems nicer than the other one, so.
Okay, so last thing that I want to, and it's not really a question. Well, it's a question, but it's not really a question. Is there anything that you want to say to somebody who is out there at the beginning of what you're going through and isn't finding their reason to continue tomorrow? From somebody who's been in that situation and been there, I think those words are way more effective than hearing it from somebody who's never been.
Yeah, I probably tell them, don't give up. It's gonna be okay. Things may seem bad, but you always gotta, stay positive. Stay positive. That's always key, and even though you may be by yourself, or feel like you're by yourself, that either your family don't care or no one else cares. Care for yourself and stay positive, and know that there are people out there that's been in your situation or maybe even worse that have made it through, and you can make it through too, Where's the Tupac? And for every dark day, there's a bright light. So, hey, there you go.
Because just because it's hard today or it's been hard for a week doesn't mean that it's going to continue to be hard.
Oh, yeah.
There's always a chance for sunshine. There's always a chance to look on the brighter side of things. Okay, so before we sign off, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you guys can be notified of whenever we post some new videos. He's going to be doing some more reactions, and we're going to be doing some more question and answer segments. Go ahead and comment any questions that you have for us, and we will be sure to answer them in the next question answer segment that we have. And we would like to thank you guys for watching the video to a whole. We hope that you have learned something about us and gotten to know us a little bit better. We will see you guys later. Bye.